Happy Friday, television family. Back at it, 21st day of November, 2025. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. Look at that spectacular sunrise behind me. Even though it doesn't officially come up for another 15 minutes, we are unofficially calling it a beautiful sunrise. You can call it whatever you want. It's a Friday. It's a 5-star show. You know that. That's the one show of the week that we guarantee you a 5-star local live television show, or double your television viewing pleasure back. 34 degrees here in the big city. Beautiful sunrise. Quite a bit of sunshine today. Going to cloud up. Temperatures are still going to be above normal. We hit 51 on Thursday. Our normal high is 42. It's been an abnormally warm November. Every day this month, every day with two exceptions, our afternoon high temperature has been above normal. Odd indeed. What's going to happen over the weekend? Pretty quiet, and then things are going to get pretty active on Thanksgiving week. Those details are coming up. We have some news to touch on, as you might imagine. Sports, nice victory for the Kraken. They scored 3 goals in the final period, and they won in Chicago, too. We'll have highlights of that busy weekend in college football. Of course, high school football now in the quarterfinal rounds. Where do the local teams play? Who do they play? And when do they play? We'll let you know all about that. The Wenatchee High School Panther girls volleyball team are in Yakima, going for a state championship. They get going tomorrow. This is their 20th appearance in the state tournament. They've won the championship twice. They'll see if they can make it 3. We won't know, of course, until Saturday. A very, very special local celebrity birthday. You don't want to miss that. When we get to the birthdays, we'll have Today in History. We have an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. Normally we do Pause for Pets on Thursdays. We ran out of time, couldn't do it yesterday. We'll do it today. And live in studio, our good friend Mike Malmin, the Chief Hope Officer of Serve Wenatchee Valley. Baskets of Blessings is next Tuesday, their big Thanksgiving deal, and we'll get a quick update on where they are with their temporary home there on the east side. Michael joined us live in the back half of the program. Let's see what we got, and we got some pretty cool cameras to show for you today. That is the Wenatchee Heights camera pointed towards East Wenatchee. If you watched the show yesterday, that's the same angle, same camera, everything that we showed you yesterday. You just can't see the Wenatchee Valley because of the low clouds and fog. That is really, really cool. So yeah, somewhere down there is East Wenatchee and Rock Island. They haven't gone anywhere. Here's another beautiful shot. High atop Hay Canyon. Good morning, Kashmir. That camera is pointed south and east, right towards the Wenatchee Valley. A beautiful view there. It's good to see the Wenatchee River a little more active. Before the rains came in November, it was really low as a lot of locals could remember. It was just, you could see some sections of the riverbed in the Wenatchee River that you couldn't see for a couple of decades because we had an abnormally dry summertime. Arrondo Rock. Good morning. Hello, Lake Aniat. We are, by the way, the #1 rated live local television program in the greater Arrondo Rock area. We're very proud of that. Hi, Mission Ridge. How's the snowmaking going? They've been doing that for the last 3 weeks or so. And speaking of Rock Island, that's the Rock Island camera. The Wenatchee Heights camera, we showed you that. That is right smack dab in the middle of the low clouds and fog, pointed, I believe, towards Rock Island. That's high above Rock Island. It's pointed towards the Quincy Palisades area. Doesn't really matter what it's pointed to. You can't see everything. So there you go. That's the ridge right there where that camera is. Pretty cool, huh? You're kind of over there. This is an updated slide from what we showed you yesterday as far as the chances in any 24-hour period in the mountains of getting snow 2 inches or more. This is updated. It looks familiar from what we showed you yesterday. This is actually a new slide. Best chance for measurable snow in the mountain passes, enough to make the driving a little on the leery side, is going to be Monday and then Wednesday. Best chance is absolutely Monday, but Wednesday, a heavily traveled day, the day before Thanksgiving, could also get a little dicey if you're heading over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house. Outside of the weather, it is quiet still. Things don't get really unsettled until Sunday night. Your forecast brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee. It's where comfort, care, and community come together. Partly sunny today. Sun will have the upper hand. Same deal. Low clouds and fog. Burns off about mid-morning or so, 10:30. Then the sun gets the job done. We're going to pop up to about 44 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight, just right at the freezing mark, 32 for the overnight low. Partly sunny again on Friday, maybe a degree or two warmer, but by 3:30 or 4 on Saturday afternoon, the clouds will be back, which means clouds on Saturday night, 35 for the overnight low. Sunday, rain in the afternoon, about a 40% chance of rain. The snow level Sunday night going to go all the way down to 2,500 feet. Could get a little dusting in the foothills of the Wenatchee Valley. Best chance for actual snow, well, not really. None really at all. Monday, about 46 for the afternoon high. Now, the snow level on Tuesday is going to go all the way down to 1,500 feet, but there's no real precipitation in the forecast. I don't really think we're going to get any snow at all. That would be Tuesday and Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, lots of clouds, high of about 40. And for Thanksgiving proper, lots of clouds, maybe a rain-snow mix in the early morning hours on Thanksgiving, and we'll top off at 43. All right, that's what Mother Nature has in store. In 2 minutes, the news. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. I've been helping people for nearly a decade understand their Medicare options. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand coverage options so you can feel confident in your Medicare decision. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or see me at my office in Wenatchee with easy parking and entrance.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Forgot to turn that on. We're socked in a little bit with some low clouds and fog. They'll burn off. Sunshine today. Same deal really on Saturday. Going to cloud up, maybe see a little bit of rain on Sunday. And once again, our high temperatures and low temperatures are going to be above normal by quite a bit. It's 9 minutes after the hour. An East Wenatchee man who made recordings of his sexual abuse of a 12-year-old girl is going to go to prison for 23 years for federal child pornography charges. That was the sentence handed down Wednesday in United States District Court to Michael Avilés Espinosa, 34 years old. He pled guilty to 2 counts of producing child pornography. Avilés was first investigated by Douglas County Sheriff's deputies in 2022. They found evidence that he had created and shared videos from his encounters with the 12-year-old victim. Federal prosecutors in Spokane later took up the case. Their plea agreement with Avilés led them to drop 4 other charges, including online enticement of a minor and distribution of child sexual abuse material. Judge Thomas O. Rice sentenced him Wednesday to 276 months in prison. He's likely to spend that time at the Inglewood Federal Correctional Institution in Colorado. Avilés still faces 18 local felony charges in Chelan County for alleged sexual abuse and exploitation of a second victim in Entiat who was 16 years old at the time. A Wenatchee Valley man is sought on a warrant from Kuntz County. He didn't show up to court when he was supposed to plead guilty to drug offenses. Shad Sterling Collins, 52 years old. His last known address was here in Wenatchee. The Kuntz County Sheriff's Office says they arrested Collins a couple of years ago just outside Ellensburg, found him in possession of hundreds of fentanyl tablets with plans to sell them. Well, he was free on bond. He was scheduled to enter a plea in the case back on October 3rd, but he didn't show up to Kuntz County Court, and since then he's been sought by police. Deputies are asking anybody with information about where he may be to contact whatever your local police authority is. Grant County Sheriff's deputies were able to recover a valuable life-saving tool that was stolen from a rural fire department headquarters. Grant County Fire District 5 serves the areas surrounding Moses Lake. And last August, they had a burglary at its station on May Valley Road, and taken in that theft was a $20,000 extrication tool that's used to save people trapped in their vehicles after a crash. The Sheriff's Crime Reduction Team found the tool during an unrelated investigation. Of course, they gave it back over to the fire service. Grant County 5 operates 14 stations, and they answer fire and rescue calls across a 454 square mile area. U.S. Congresswoman Kim Schreier, who represents our 8th District, has added another first to her list. Schreier was the first pediatrician elected to Congress, and now she's the first chair of the Democratic Doctors Caucus. Earlier this year, all 6 Democratic physicians serving in the House of Representatives joined together to form the caucus. The group says its focus is advancing healthcare policy and providing insights on critical health issues. Back in May, the caucus held a press conference to speak against Republican cuts to Medicaid. Well, the new incarnation of the Waterville Vista Hut is now back. It stands high above Waterville. Back in July, we told you the story about the efforts to restore the public gazebo at the peak of the Badger Mountain ski hill. Well, the town of Waterville and some community volunteers originally set out to restore the building. It had been there for 86 years, but the existing structure had to be demolished this fall after it started to fall down. Ridgeline Custom Builders of Wenatchee offered to do the entire rebuild for Waterville, and they didn't charge them anything. Waterville Mayor Lloyd Smith spoke with our media partner, the Wenatchee World, about the Vista Hut and its place in the local skiing culture.
The original Vista Hut was erected in 1939, and nothing's been done to it. The roof was in bad shape. The shingles were all falling off. So we had bought the metal roofing through donations, and we had a group of men that was willing to donate their time and to come up with the intentions of taking off the old roof, putting the metal roof on. In doing so, we found that the whole building was unstable and actually was leaning. And out of safety issues for especially this coming winter, to prevent any chance of any hazardous conditions occurring, such as it collapsing on people, made the call to have it demoed and replaced. At first, we had a lot of people that were a little upset that we demoed it because it was erected in 1939. But since then, every person, I have to say, every person that's came up has been extremely impressed with it and was very complimentary that we did what we did. Our biggest concern was the endangerment of people inside if it collapsed. And so it was a safety issue we called, and therefore we made that decision, and that decision was made immediately. And as far as the Vista Hut and the slope up here, it's been here way before some of the other famous areas, such as I've been told before Mission Ridge, and also before Stevens Pass and some of the other locations that had slopes. And people come up here. This last year was the busiest year they've had in many, many years. And so they're extremely happy, and that's ran by the Lions Club. They have facilities down below that has a restaurant that you can ski into. You cannot drive in, but you can ski into it. It was very special that we were able to use some of the lumber and logs. And as you can see in the entryway and the overhead and some of the supporting, was from the old Vista Hut. We salvaged as much as we could and utilized it into the new construction. The estimate value because of the intensity and the amount of labor, it exceeded $80,000. Early spring, we want to have it painted. What we was hoping to do was have these two side panels painted, but it's been too cold for paint. And what we're looking at forest green, which is kind of a consensus of everybody. They think it would be great. And in early spring, we wanted to do a rededication of it. And definitely we'll have a sign stating that this was Vista Hut, established in 1939 and rebuilt in 2026 by Friends of Waterville. And that's, nobody's other names will be going on it. The contractor says, we come up here and ski all the time, so it's our privilege to be able to do it to the community.
And it's that time of the year again. 19 senior girls from the Eastmont School District, 9 from the Wenatchee School District will compete for a spot as one of the top 10 2026 Washington State Apple Blossom Festival royalty candidates. The process begins on January 13th. It's the Get to Know You session. That'll be followed by top 10 speeches at 1 o'clock. The speeches will be streamed right here on the NCW Life channel. The top 10 announcement will follow at 6 o'clock. It's free to attend. We'll have it right here on the NCW Life channel. All the events are judged by 5 out-of-town judges, and both the speeches and the top 10 announcement held at the America Performing Arts Center and the pageant itself. Valentine's Day, Saturday, February 14th, again at the America Pack and right here live on television, or as we like to say in the business, television. And that's the news at 17 minutes after the hour. Start your weekend with knowing what's happening around here with the news. If it's making news in the Wenatchee Valley or North Central Washington, our crew will get it together. We'll gather the news, disseminate the news, and whoop, out it comes. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight, 5, 6, and 10, the traditional television viewing times. That doesn't work in your schedule. As long as you have access to the internet, and I'm pretty sure you do, you can watch the news on our YouTube page, on our homepage. If you got the Roku app, if you got the Amazon Fire, if you got Apple TV, we're on that too. And if you got a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. A lot of sports to get to. And in 2 minutes, it'll come your way. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Sports at 20 minutes after the hour, the Seattle Kraken scored 3 goals
in the third period. A nice comeback. They beat the Blackhawks in Chicago. The final was 3-0. Jaden Schwartz, Ty Cartier, and Shane Wright scored for the Kraken. Joey Decord has 22 saves. The Kraken have won 3 of their last 4.
Now Vlasic will lay it back in Kraken territory. Beniers at dead center. Jordan Eberle turns it over to Alex Vlasic, who looks up the ice, and here they come. Nazar will settle it, move it across. They connect the dots, they score. Tyler Bertuzzi on a beautiful play set up by Teuvo Teravainen, and the Hawks break the ice.
I think that was a D-to-D pass, a defenseman to defenseman pass. It ends up, Renzel ends up having a breakaway from the blue line in. And another big-time stop there by Joey.
Teuvo Teravainen, cross corner, Alexiak. Bertuzzi in front, they score! Teuvo Teravainen on the back door. And a swat of a pass by Tyler Bertuzzi. It's a power play goal. Chicago with a 2-0 lead. Gaudreau pins it along the boards. To the point. Montour, Freddie Gaudreau. One-timer, Montour tipped right on. They score! Oscar Fisker-Molgaard out in front. The shot taken from well out by Brendan Montour.
He did it. He tipped it.
Yes, he did. Oscar Fisker-Molgaard has his first goal in the National Hockey League.
Wow. Cartier was in front of the net as well. I think this puck might have redirected off of Cartier. No doubt Molgaard's going to get it. I think he's going to get an assist for sure, but I think it goes off the...
Grzelcyk the same. Shane Wright goes to work. Wright stripped by Levshunov. Here comes Catton. Berkeley Catton dogs it all the way back. Sauce pass for Evans. A shot. They score! Riker Evans from downtown with a breeze by in front as the Kraken buzz the tower right out in front. And Shane Wright will lead the pack to the bench
in this game. But Shane Wright stands right in front of Spencer Knight. And it's a mad scramble. Look at Cat. Look at this effort here. He's got Grzelcyk in his back pocket. Look where Wright goes. Right to the front of the net. And he redirects this puck past Spencer Knight. Good job here by Riker to walk. Quick shot. And right off of the tip of the blade. And the Kraken
worked along for Marchment. All the way back for Riker Evans. He'll defer out to Marchment. Montour, they trade places. Monty takes it in. A slot pass, they score! Hey, hey, what do you say? Jaden Schwartz with his stick on the ice. Cha-cha with a huge goal, and the Kraken have a 1-goal lead.
For the Kraken on this power play, exchanging positions. Marchment, Montour as well, moving through, head up the whole way. And Schwartz goes right to the back post, stick down on the ice. Heads up play the whole way there from Monty. He knows he's just trying to deflect that one over. Got an opportunity, but again, got to have Schwartz in the net front area. He has to have his stick down and perfectly placed right through the 5-hole. Spencer Knight.
In the 5. Connor Bedard all the way back, hounded by Eberle. 3 seconds on the clock. Final hope is over the head of Decord. That's Kraken hockey, baby. What a win.
Yeah, what a win. The Kraken wrap up their road trip. They got a game tomorrow afternoon in Pittsburgh against the Penguins, and they wrap it up against the Islanders on Sunday. Seattle Seahawks are a 13.5-point favorite to beat the Titans in Nashville on Sunday morning. Now, granted, the Titans have only won one game, and they were lucky to win that one, but that is the biggest in franchise history. The Seahawks have never been a 13.5-point favorite on the road in their history, but they are 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Fox. Huskies and Cougars are down to their last games of the regular season. Huskies play tomorrow night in what could be the last UCLA home game at the Rose Bowl. UCLA is planning to move to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. After 43 years in Pasadena, we shall see. Kickoff for the Huskies on NBC is at 7:30. Cougars have the task of playing 9-1 James Madison. That's on the road. Saturday morning at 10. Eastern has their last game of the season Saturday afternoon at Cal Poly. They're not going to make the playoffs. And Central has a playoff game. They'll be in Ellensburg against Western Colorado at 1. Let's talk preps. Just one game tonight in the state quarterfinals involving a local team. And there you see it. It is Okanagan. They'll be on the road in the 2B tournament. They'll take on Freeman at 6 o'clock tonight. All the other local teams play tomorrow. Moses Lake hoping to move on to the semifinals. They'll have to beat Lake Stevens on the road. That's at 4 o'clock in the 4A tournament. In the 1A tournament at Lee Boftel Field at the Apple Bowl, Kashmir will take on Life Christian Academy, 2 o'clock, again, right here in Wenatchee. Omak is heading over to Blaine. They'll take on Mount Baker at noon in the 1A tournament. Royal, the defending state champions, has a home game. They take on Seton Catholic at 1 o'clock on Saturday. At Edgar Brown Stadium in Pasco, Tri-Cities Prep will host Liberty Bell in the 2B tournament at 1 o'clock. And also at 1 o'clock, Elmira Cooley Hardline takes on DeSalle in the 1B tournament. That'll be at Lions Field in Moses Lake. The Wenatchee Panther girls volleyball team in the state tournament for the 20th time in school history. They've won it twice, 1983 and then 2 years ago. Last year they finished third. Their quest for another championship begins this morning at 11:45. They'll take on Kamayak out of Mukilteo. If they win, they'll play the winner of Camas and Meade later on tonight. If they lose, they'll play the loser of Camas and Meade. And can't forget about the Wenatchee Wild. One game this weekend. They'll up in Kamloops to take on the Blazers. They'll drop the puck at 6 o'clock, and you can listen to that game on KPQ, I believe. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Happy World Philosophy Day. Get to that in just a little bit. Use Less Stuff Day, National Stuffing Day, National Red Mitten Day. It's National Gingerbread Cookie Day. It's False Confession Day. I don't make these things up, but today we celebrate the medium that I'm currently on. It is World Television Day today. And why do they call television a medium? Because it's very rarely well done, as Fred Allen once said. Fun facts about television. This is alarming, I think. Approximately 66%, basically 2 out of 3 American households, have at least 3 televisions. I only have 1, and sometimes that's 1 too many. That's a lot. How many people subscribe to cable TV? It's getting less and less year by year. Less than 10 years ago, in 2017, 96.3 million households subscribed to cable TV. Today, that number is down to 66 million households and continues to decline. The average person, assuming you've been watching TV since you were a kid, if you're 65 years old, you've seen around 2 million television commercials. By the time you're 18, you would have seen about 200,000 fictional murders. And how many televisions are there just in this country? Nobody knows. The closest guess is about 300 million. That's a lot of television. So happy National TV Day today. I did not make that graphic. Today in history, we always do states. Welcome to the Union. North Carolina, they joined the Union as the 12th state of the United States when they ratified the Constitution on November 21st, 1789. That makes North Carolina 236 years old today. Of course, it's the Tar Heel state. North Carolina and South Carolina have a little bit of a rivalry regarding Andrew Jackson. He was born somewhere, they think, near the border between North Carolina and South Carolina, but they don't know exactly where President Andrew Jackson is born, so they both claim to be the birthplace of Andrew Jackson. There are historians who think that Andrew Jackson was actually born at sea on his way to America. Nobody really knows. And if you live on the East Coast and you like a real Christmas tree, the odds are pretty good you got it in North Carolina. They grow 20% of the real Christmas trees that will go on sale this time of the year. They are good at that. Happy birthday to the phonograph. November 21st, 1877, there had been machines before that had been invented and patented that could record sound but couldn't play it back. And there were machines that could play sound but not record them. Thomas Edison put the two together, and on November 21st, 1877, he announced the invention of the phonograph, a machine that could both record and then play back the sound it recorded. Thank you, Thomas Edison. My favorite invention of them all. I don't have one of those at my house. E equals MC squared. But was he wrong? I don't know. I'm not that smart. 120 years ago today, in the journal Annalen der Physik, Albert Einstein publishes his theory of E equals MC squared, energy, mass, and the speed of light. So far, I think he's right, although I'm not smart enough to tell you otherwise. Sam Phillips owned and operated Sun Records, and he told anybody who would listen, if I could find a white guy who could sing like a black guy, I'd make $1 million. Well, he did make $1 million. He made $35,000. On this date, in 1955, Sam Phillips sells his contract of Elvis Presley to RCA for the unheard of sum of $35,000, plus Elvis himself got a $5,000 signing bonus. That's the actual photograph of the occasion. So no, Sam Phillips didn't make $1 million on Elvis. He made $35,000, but what did he do with that $35,000? One of his good buddies in Memphis was starting a brand new business, and he invested all of his money to become one of the first investors of Holiday Inn. So maybe he did actually make $1 million from Elvis Presley. That was 70 years ago today. Speaking of rock and roll, 66 years ago today, American DJ Alan Freed is fired from WABC in New York City. He was the man who coined the term rock and roll. They fired him because they said, you're participating in payola. This was 1959. Payola wasn't illegal in 1959, but in 1960, payola was made illegal, and then the authorities went after Alan Freed because they didn't like rock and roll. A couple of years later, he was charged on multiple counts of commercial bribery. He pled guilty to 2 counts. He was fined, didn't go to jail, and for Alan Freed, it was over. That was in 1959. Happy birthday to this very impressive bridge. At the time, it was the longest span in the world. November 21st, 1964, 61 years ago today, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge opens between Staten Island and Brooklyn. At the time, it was the longest bridge span in the world. Because of the thermal expansion and because it's so darn big, in the summertime, the roadway is 12 feet lower than in the wintertime. And since that is, you have to go underneath that bridge to get to the port and the harbor of New York City, every ship since then has to be built to get underneath the bridge, or you can't make it in. There's a couple of cruise ships that in the summertime barely get under that bridge. And by the way, that bridge is the only vehicle bridge or tunnel leading into New York that they charge a toll in both directions. Mostly they just charge a toll to get into Manhattan. And 45 years ago today, if you've been to Las Vegas, it's now the Horseshoe, but in 1980, it was the MGM Grand Hotel. And a fire broke out in the casino at 7:07 in the morning of Friday, November 21st. Here is Roger Mudd from the NBC Nightly News.
Good evening. At least 75 people have died today in a fire in the biggest hotel in Las Vegas. Another 300 were injured. The fire was in the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino, which was built in 1973. About 1,000 people escaped by fleeing to the hotel roof, where they were lifted off by helicopters. A county official said the blaze may have started from a grease fire in the kitchen of a ground floor delicatessen. We have a report from Frank Burkholzer.
The fire began shortly after 7 in the morning and spread throughout the ground floor casino and the famous showroom in a matter of minutes, sending thick black smoke up through the entire 26-story structure. The Grand has more than 2,000 rooms. There were believed to be some 4,500 guests in the hotel. Many of them tried to get fresh air by breaking windows.
We knocked the windows out, and then we merely followed instructions. Got on the floor so we couldn't inhale so much smoke, and got towels.
The smoke that guests let in by breaking those windows caused many of the deaths and injuries, according to fire officials. Rescue crews moved in quickly to attend to the hundreds who rushed to safety in the streets or thronged balconies or made their way to the roof for rescue by helicopter. Helicopters were crucial in rescue attempts. Fire ladders can reach only 9 stories high. No help to those on floors 10 to 26. And the fire alarm system was knocked out.
As we started walking down the hallways, most of the people were still unaware of what was going on. No alarms were going off. No personnel in the hotel made any effort where we were to notify anybody. No one was knocking on the doors.
Survivors were taken to the Las Vegas Convention Center for temporary shelter and to take the first steps back to normality. Hundreds of offers of shelter in private homes poured in. The injured, and there were many elderly persons among them, were taken to Las Vegas hospitals. And hours after the fire was put out, teams of firefighters searched floor after floor and brought out body after body, some who appeared to have died in their beds. Frank Bergholzer, NBC News, Las Vegas.
The fire broke out in the casino. The fire itself was limited to the casino, but the casino had 2 significant problems. No sprinkler system, they weren't required when it was built, and it was full of plastic and PVC and all kinds of things that created thick black smoke. So the fire never got beyond the casino. Of the 61 people who died in the upper floors of the hotel, they all died from carbon monoxide and smoke inhalation. In fact, of the 85 deaths, 75 people, including those in the casino, died from smoke inhalation. And by the way, the doorways to the stairwells were locked. 37 minutes after the hour. She's watching right now. I hope you're watching right now. Hello, Annie. Annie Frank, right now, and I hope she and Pam are gathered around the television. Annie Frank, a resident of Blossom Valley, is 100 years old today. I'm told she watches the show every day, so there's no accounting for good taste, but happy 100th to Annie Frank from everybody, 100. That is impressive. Annie, who do you share a birthday with? Voltaire, the great philosopher and writer, one of the very first authors ever to make a lot of money and get worldwide reputation by writing books and pamphlets and poems and letters and essays and histories. The legendary Voltaire, the French writer and philosopher. That's why it's Philosophy Day today. Born in the state in 1694. Hetty Green was a legend in her time. When her dad died and she was 30, she inherited $1 million. Then she married a millionaire, had 2 kids with the millionaire, and then made her fortune more and more and more by loaning money to businesses. The businesses thought they were going to take advantage of Hetty Green because she's a woman. Turns out Hetty Green took advantage of them, and she was what's the old line? If you're poor and have no money, you're just poor. If you have a lot of money but you're strange, you're eccentric. And Hetty Green was an eccentric. Born 105 years ago in Donora, Pennsylvania, Stan the Man Musial, one of the great and underappreciated baseball players of all time. Born in Donora, Pennsylvania in 1920, and born in Donora, Pennsylvania 56 years ago today, Ken Griffey Jr., probably the most well-known and famous athlete in Seattle history. I don't think there's any real doubt about that. Happy birthday to Junior. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. Mike Malmin is going to join me live in studio to give us an update on what's happening with Serve Wenatchee Valley. We'll have that coming up. Mike McNalty's got an opinion, but first, a couple of cats who come as a pair need a home. It's Pause for Pets.
I'm Shelby. I am the marketing coordinator here at Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. These are a bonded pair. So that's Louie. Yes, he is the more confident of the two. So Milo is the more shy one of the two, but his brother Louie gives him a lot of confidence. And so usually he's also very affectionate. He just takes a minute to warm up. They're both very, very easygoing. They just need a home. All they both ever want is all of the pets and touches and affection in the world, especially Louie. Louie is about 2 and Milo is 4. So they're both adult males. They both have been neutered and they're just couch surfers. I think they would really like to have a cat tree in the home because Milo especially likes to be perched above. He's more of a watcher, so he wants to see what the scene is like. Then he'll choose when to enter it. But if his brother Louie is there, he's usually a lot more determined to come play as well. Louie also is a rare breed that will let you touch his belly. Louie and Milo haven't been here too long. They came to us at the beginning of November, but we're hoping to get these guys a home any minute now because they're so amazing. For most cats, these guys are pretty low maintenance. Just put out some food, a litter box, and some water, and then they'll just give you endless love and entertainment in return. We want them to go together. They are a bonded pair, so we really encourage them to be adopted together. Their adoption fee has that reflected, so instead of paying for the full price for 2 adults, their adoption fee is the price of 1 adult because we really, really want them to stay together. They are extremely close and bonded, and we think that it would be the most humane thing to keep them together. It would cause them a lot of emotional distress if they were separated.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Thank you, Annie. Don't lick me though. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're so sweet. Yeah, so these guys are the best. Please come get them. We'll give you to them for 1 adoption fee. These guys are awesome. Please come get them and they'll make your life so much better.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office and Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I guess it's ironic to say our great leader's attack on free speech leaves me speechless. Well, not quite. And no, do not tell me this isn't what's happening. If that man's ego and deluded self-perception is so weak and fragile that he has to bully into silence people who poke legitimate fun at him and then be gleeful about it, what does this say about our country? And that there are many who accept and approve of that man's violation of our constitutional rights to free speech. That's even worse. What is happening to us? Is this America, people? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth, and a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
This guy has been in the news way too much lately for reasons we wish didn't happen. We all know what happened back in October with the broken pipe and the flood. And Mike just showed me a video of the actual flooding that was going on at Serve Wenatchee's headquarters on Arundel. Mike Malmin is the Chief Hope Officer of Serve Wenatchee Valley. You found a new home, and I got your newsletter a couple of days ago, Mike. I am not surprised at what happened afterwards with the community. I don't think you were either. I figured people are going to pull together. They're going to help your organization. Yeah. They're going to donate time. They're going to donate labor. They're going to donate money. They're going to do whatever it is to keep your operation up and running. But this is more than I was expecting. Even I can't imagine what you were listening.
You know, I wanted to talk about that this morning, and you know, you say in a sense I was not surprised. I thought there would be a response to get us back up and running. But the scope, the size of the response has been far larger than anything I imagined. We are up and running. One of the things, you know, we with the government shutdown and with the SNAP uncertainty, the food stamp uncertainty, we were when we reopened and decided we were, even because of the wellspring of support and because of the need in our community, we would increase our food distribution. So we've actually, since our restart at the new location, increased the amount of food a client can receive by 25%. So that's pretty significant for a family. It really adds up.
And you have a little bit more elbow room than you did.
The market's actually smaller.
The market's smaller, yeah.
But everything else is a little bit bigger. It's a great location for us. The United Methodist Church Pacific Northwest Conference has been so gracious to us getting in that space. But we're constant, because it's a little smaller, we're sort of restocking in real time all the time. We've got another big room that we keep food backed up in and then get it out on the shelves as quickly as possible.
You lost your refrigeration units, you lost your freezer units, those big commercial things that took up an entire wall.
Correct.
What's up with that? Is that they're unsalvageable? So.
They are unsalvageable, and so our insurance will pay to replace that. We really haven't submitted much with the claim yet. It's been mostly getting up and running because, you know, with the lighthouse shut down, with the Wenatchee Rescue Mission reducing its box program, and then us being shut down, it created a real vacuum. And so job one for us was to get back up and running
as soon as possible.
As soon as possible, and we were so grateful that we were able to get up and running as quickly as we did.
And your clients and your patrons are finding your new location without any problem at all?
Yeah, they are, and it's been full. We seem, since we've reopened, to be booked a little further out, so people are getting in line earlier. I will say this, when I announced that we were reopening and said we'd be opening a week, we had people starting to show up a week out, and we said get online and book a time and meet with our people. And so the need right now seems to be high. It normally is this time of year. You know, I was in the market yesterday, and it was just interesting to look at our clients and hear their stories and whatnot. But you know, there are some costs that are up right now, and it's impacting all of us. But for those at the lower end of the wage scale, it impacts them at a much higher level.
you have a board of directors that you are answerable to. Kudos to them.
Yeah.
They've come through.
They have been fantastic support for me during this time. They've been resourceful. They have been finding ways to get us up and running. It's nice to have a group of leaders that clearly understand your mission, clearly understand the importance of it, and did whatever they could to get us back up and running, and gave staff the freedom to be creative and think a little bit in new and different ways so that we could get up and running quickly.
Thursday is Thanksgiving. For a long, long time, they just used to make dinner and serve a Thanksgiving dinner to those people who wanted a Thanksgiving dinner, no questions asked. They switched it over to baskets of blessings 15 years ago, maybe.
Probably,
now?
yeah.
Right around there, which has actually turned out to be a much better idea. And it's that time of the year again. Thanksgiving is Thursday. Give us an update on baskets of blessings.
It's a great, one of the reasons we can serve a lot more people through the baskets program than we could by doing a community meal. We do 500 Thanksgiving meals that could feed 5 or 6 people easily. And so you multiply that out, and we're impacting thousands of people with these baskets that we will be giving away next Tuesday. I will tell you that this year, this is a pre-registration event. We reach out to our clients, folks that we know are struggling, to fill it up first, and we allow people to sign up after that. I will tell you, we filled it up in a day. It was a rapid response when registration opened. And so the need is really there right now. Fundraising has been great. I received an email this morning saying we had exceeded our goal, so anything that comes in over the goal will go directly into our market to buy food for clients moving forward. And we've had, because I think partially because of the flood, our volunteers sign up was quick, full, spectacular, and so we're raring to go. One of the things I guess maybe I'm most proud about is my staff, and that with the exception of having our food bank curtailed for a couple of weeks, everything went on full speed ahead. We expanded food service. We were able to do Coats for Kids, in October, as we normally would. We've got Baskets of Blessing coming up, and then the Glory of Christmas gift giveaway for children and teens, a few weeks after that. And so it speaks to the resiliency of the organization that was caused by the efforts of this community. And so it's fantastic to see neighbors helping neighbors. We are, Dan, we're all local, and our funds are all local, and our clients are all local, and our donors are all local, our businesses, our churches. These are people that are deeply tied to the Valley, and the fact that people stepped up to help in such a significant way is just, it makes my heart, I just burst.
Is there is there someplace in the Bible where we can talk about something that you guys had something really bad happen to you, and yet you're not only emerging bigger and stronger than ever, but now more people than ever know about the mission of Serve Wenatchee Valley because something bad happened?
Well, yeah,
Help me out with that.
it's funny, there's a story of Joseph in the Old Testament, and he's sold into slavery by his brothers. He gets elevated into the king's household. He sets aside food for famine. He reunites with his brothers, and after being sold into slavery and beaten, falsely accused of all sorts of things, he feeds a nation, and he says, what the devil intended for evil, God used for good. And that's what happened here. There was it wasn't evil necessarily, but it was catastrophic, and it could have wiped out a thing, but instead it caused people to rally around us. It helped us to get a lot of food in the market very quickly. Our food that was in the market at the time of the flood, basically we were able to salvage cans on the top shelf, but everything in our market was destroyed. It was just, it's interesting to see how bad things can cause good things. And that's exactly what happened here.
Well, to that end, are you and your board and your leadership kind of thinking, okay, what is the future of Serve Wenatchee Valley? Let's talk about our organization maybe 2 or 5 years down the road, the need will always be there. Is that kind of started that process?
Well, we were already discussing it. In some ways, it's sort of expedited it. We had been in conversations about how do we, because of our limited space, how do we get more food into clients' hands? Because certainly what we were doing provides food for them maybe for a week or two. But it's not probably enough for a lot of our people. And with a couple of the other significant food banks in town shutting down, this really kind of opened up a conversation of what is our role, how can we expand that role? And so expanding our food service is really a priority for us. It's largely dependent on the space we have available, so we're trying to think creatively how we can use existing spaces, what we can do with warehousing, that kind of things. And I've got a couple people in the community working on this for me right now, trying to figure out how we can creatively, with the resources we currently have, do more to help people that are struggling.
We need to give a shout out to a bunch of folks for the baskets of blessings. It was a basic $49 cash donation to your organization, provided the complete Thanksgiving meal. And there's a reason that you can buy that much food for just $49. There's a reason for that, Mike.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have some sources that really work with us. The Wenatchee Avenue Grocery Outlet, Kevin and Tanya, Richmond, they go over and above for us, and so we get the best deal on prices. We're buying in massive bulk. If you haven't seen 400 turkeys and 200 chickens in one location, it's an impressive thing.
As opposed to just 2 turkeys in the studio.
Yeah.
Ta-da. Yeah, thank you very much. Holiday season begins next week on Thursday with Thanksgiving, and then you hop into another significant events coming into December.
Yeah, we partner with the North Central Washington Toy Drive and Les Schwab. We're one of their distribution points for gifts for children and teens, and that will take place in December on the 16th at the Nazarene Church. That's a big one for us. I think I looked yesterday. I think we're planning for about 300 gifts for about 300 children. What I like about that event is that it's not an event where the children show up and pick out a toy. It's an event where mom and dad come and pick out a toy and then get to give it to their child on Christmas morning. And one of our core values is dignity. And the thought of a parent that's struggling a little bit financially getting to give a brand new gift to their kids or gifts to their kids, what it does to those children and their relationship with their parents is significant. And so that's one I really love.
Have you had a chance personally to take a break? I mean, ever since this flood, it's been over a month now since you had your little accident, for lack of a better term. Mike Malmin, personally, are you saying I really need to maybe take a couple of days off because?
Yeah, that'll probably happen in January. I did have last weekend. I had 2 days off back to back, which is the first time that's happened since September. And it's a season, and I recognize it as a season. I've been working hard to try to carve, in again biblical terms, a Sabbath, a day of rest. And I've done pretty good at that. But it's been a lot of long hours, but they've been very gratifying hours because of how our staff, my operations manager, Shelley Monda, how all these folks have worked together to get us back going. It's been a delight.
Got about a minute left, Mike. Anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, let's talk about
how do people help you out?
Yeah, Christmas Campaign for Hope.
Please.
People don't realize that, December is typically for nonprofits the biggest giving month. We rely on Christmas time donations to carry us through the first several months of the new year, because that's when giving tends to be down. So we really need people to consider partnering with us on our Christmas Campaign for Hope. They can go to servewenatchee.org, click on Campaign for Hope, and make a contribution there if they feel led.
And a lot of your patrons are seasonal workers through no fault of their own. They still live in the Wenatchee Valley over the winter months, but they're not drawing a paycheck, or at least not a paycheck.
Yeah, and even some of the drawing a paycheck are. I was in a market yesterday. Right. We had a housekeeper dressed in her housekeeping uniform from one of our area hotels. She's working full time. I talked to her. It just doesn't make ends meet in the valley, because housing costs are West Side costs now.
Click on their website, by the way, and make a monthly donation. It's automatic. They take it right out of your checking account. You don't even know what's happening. From the National Weather Service, Here's your forecast. It's going to be sunny for the most part once you see the clouds behind us there, Mike. They're burning off. 44 for the afternoon high today, 32 for the overnight low tonight, Saturday. We'll do it all over again. Partly sunny, high of about 45 degrees, 35 for the overnight low. Precipitation Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, about a 50% chance of rain, still very mild. Then we finally cool down for the holiday. I'll see you soon, my friend.
Always good to see you.
And we will see you Monday. Bye-bye.